Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio. I'm Matthew Blair, Dr. Rev Sketch. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about different... First off, how are you? I'm good. How are you? I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend so far. Today we're going to be talking about the different mediums of clay, or different types of clay. As most of you know, I'm an artist. For those of you who don't know, hi, I'm an artist, and I like sculpting, art illustration. I dabble a little bit in every art form there is, I think. Maybe, well, with the exception of like slinging feces onto a canvas, or peeing in a jar and putting crucifixes in it. That's a little weird. But, you know, aside from that, I do a lot of different art stuff. So today we're going to be discussing the different types of different materials to use for sculpting. If you're a hobbyist or even thinking about getting into hobby sculpting, something on my hat. I'm having one of those squirrel moments. I seen something out of the corner of my eye that's driving me crazy. So if you're thinking about getting into sculpting, or you maybe thought about getting into the hobby of sculpting, or you just have a really cool action figure that you want to try to make, or whatever, I'm going to go over a few of these different types of clay. The first, of course, is clay. Straight out clay. Okay, that would be your dirt, your clay. Not all dirt is clay. You know, keep that in mind. You go grab yourself some dirt in the yard, it may not work as clay. It may not. It may not. But usually clay, you can feel it when you get it out of the earth. It's usually kind of, you can usually kind of mold it a little bit. This here, we have a room right next to here. It used to be a dirt room, and it had a lot of dirt in it, hence the name dirt room. And before we renovated and took all that out, I started taking out that dirt, and I realized, this is clay. This is clay. So I was kind of excited. And I started, you know, kind of playing with it a little bit, and added water to it. Next thing you know, I got a mess. Got a huge mess. My hands were all messy. My clothes were messy. So you got to keep that in mind. But this is clay. This is clay. I'll show you here. This is clay. This is actual earthen clay. This is the stuff they made earthen vessels out of. So there's your clay. There's your dirt clay. You get this out of the yard. Then you kind of put some water on it, mold it around. And right now, this clay it's hard as a rock. How did you get it that way? Well, this I actually processed. I took some mud and put it all, or some dirt and mud, put it all in a big 5-gallon bucket. And then I took some water, of course, and, you know, mixed it in there. And then took, I have this drill, this like power drill. I have a power drill, and I have a bit that has a mixer on it. And so I stuck the mixer in there and just mixed it all together. And after a couple days, it starts to set up a little bit and thicken. And then you just put it, and that's the problem with this kind of clay. It takes forever. It takes forever. And I have a pan, like an oven pan that I use, and I just poured all of that in there. Man, I'm like really dry or something. So I poured all that in there, and just, this is what you get. This is what you get. And if you can see it's kind of smooth, and that's from doing all the mixing. But this is what it looks like in the inside. And you see, you can't. I'm a big dude, and I can't break it. So this is clay, and it's hard as a rock. This is what happens when you let it harden for, I think I let this harden for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So this is 2 weeks. 2 weeks of hardening dirt. And this is one of the things I made from it. Just playing around with it. I have like this little plastic cross that I stuck in the mud. And then I kind of molded it and everything. But I was kind of playing around, and this is what I got. So this is what you can make from your standard mud from the yard clay. Okay, and this again, it's hard as a rock. Hard as a rock. So that's just from, you know, a couple weeks drying. Now this can be broken simply because it's been molded, and you can see already it's got some cracks in it. But like I said, I was just messing around. I was just playing around with it. There is a few things that I did make when I first started dabbling in dirt clay. One of these things was this little neat pot that I made. I made this little neat pot. You know, like I said, you're going to get your hands messy. You're going to maybe get your clothes messy. But the beautiful thing about earthen clay is you can clean it up real easy. Just throw your clothes in the washer, put them in the dryer, and you're good to go. But this is just, you know, just put some water and mud and then just kind of play with it. You know, and I just kind of did this number and molded it. Took my fingers and kind of did this. And next thing you know, you put your finger inside here and you mold it around. Hold it by the bottom and, you know, make sure it's nice and round. And, you know, I just got this little earthen vessel. You can see I've got stuff in it. I've got, this is, ooh, I dropped it. Oh no. So this is funny. What I have in this vessel, you're going to get a kick out of this. Let me see if I can show you. It's Indiana Jones stuff. It's Indiana Jones stuff. It's from a little Indiana Jones action figure. I even got this little, if you all remember Raiders of the Lost Ark, I got this little golden head thing. What is up with my camera? Got this little golden head in there. You know, the thing he lifted from the lever, and then he tried to replace it with a bag of sand or whatever. Yeah, so I got Indiana Jones artifacts in my artifact that I made. The second thing that I made with, just to kind of give you an idea what you can do with this stuff, it's clay. You know, it's moldable. And, you know, we're reminded, I'll get into that in a second. Let's see, here's the little bird that I made. I tried to go for an angry bird. You can see that I molded this neat little bird. This is all one piece. You can see how rough it is. Okay. You can see how rough it is. And it's hard. Hard as a rock. So it just takes a couple of weeks of hardening and there you go. So I'm reminded, everybody's like, why did you get into sculpting? Why did you start sculpting? What do you think about it? I'm a preacher. That's what I do. That's my passion. I preach. So if you get on here, probably not for my art. You're probably actually getting on here for my sermons. But this particular one, I'm going to add this in there. I like to sculpt because it reminds me of how much of an artist my father is, how much of an artist God is. In Genesis, it talks about how the animals and everything else he made out of the earth, but he specifically took clay from the earth and he molded it in his image. Molded it in his image. And then he took and he breathed in the nostrils of the clay the breath of life and made man, made Adam. And so it says that in Genesis. So he personally added that personal touch. He sculpted Adam, our great, so many greats, grandfather. And that's where we all came from, was a sculpted piece. You know, so I like sculpting because it feels like this is what my father does. You know, this is what he did. And there's a reason why Jesus, when he came to earth, why he was a carpenter. It wasn't just because his stepdad, Joseph, was a carpenter. I say stepdad because God, his father, was the father. And Joseph, of course, was Mary's husband. That would have been Jesus' stepdad, so to speak. And his brothers would have been his stepbrothers, or half-brothers? Anyway, it's complicated. It's really strange. But that's how God works. Amen? So, he's a potter. He's a sculptor. He's an artist. And he is so intelligent. But let's get right into it. So you got the mud, the earthen clay. Next would be, and you can get different brands at the store. You don't have to specifically buy Sculpey. I think there's Primo and there's a few others, but Sculpey tends to be my favorite. However, if Primo or any of those other companies want to send me some Polymer Clay samples, I would gladly accept them and promote your product. So anyway, this is Sculpey. This is original Sculpey. You get the stuff like at Walmart or I don't know, a few other places, but Walmart's where I get it. I think I paid like $5.99 for this. It comes in like a little package. It used to come in a box, but now it comes in like a little package. Plastic wrap package. I guess that's to cut down on costs. But this stuff, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like, and it's really soft and really pliable. And as you can tell, it let me see if I can get my finger in there. If you can tell, it kind of makes a mess. It makes a mess of your hands. See, look at this. See, it makes a mess. So it's so soft that it's actually really close to mud or dirt because it makes such a mess. And with this stuff, this is the same stuff, by the way. So with this stuff, you can just kind of pinch it, see? And it's just so soft. It's so pliable. You just, see? It doesn't take any effort whatsoever. And so this stuff is like great for jewelry. It's great for like little, maybe like little trinkets and stuff. Maybe you want to make a necklace or some earrings or something. I don't really recommend this stuff, but as far as you want to do something for a hobby, I think it's great for that. And let me show you here what I mean. This stuff, see, you get it and you kind of break off a piece and then you roll it in your hand to get it kind of warm because it's already soft enough. And then see, you get this little ball here. Now you take this, see, you can just easily squish it. Now problem is, it just comes right off and it's gooey. It's really gooey. Let me introduce you to some of my tools. These are polymer tools, clay tools. You can use almost anything for a clay tool. Anything for a sculpting tool. Like this here. This is a Bob Ross sculptor. Not a sculptor. A Bob Ross sculpting knife. And actually, he used this for paint. He used this for oil paints. You know, he'd scrape. If you've ever watched Bob Ross. Bob Ross was amazing. Of course, he put me to sleep half the time because he was so quiet. You know, he'd be like, and we're going to put a little tree over here. Maybe put a little squirrel. Maybe we'll draw a little squirrel in here. And here's the squirrels. Here's for the home for this. Whew. Okay, I'm putting myself to sleep there. So anyway, that's what he did. And that was Bob Ross. And he was the cool artist with the afro. And so he used stuff like this. And this thing's great. Like you could cut through this thing. It's no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't freak out. It's okay. So you just take this and you just kind of cut right through it. But this it doesn't even really need a knife because this stuff's so soft. You've also got like your wood tools. I believe this is a number 18. Yeah, it's a number 18, if you can see that. Number 18 tool. You can do all kinds of things with this. You know, you can press down like this. You know, you can carve some neat stuff there. You can, you know, see. And almost anything can be used for that. A lot of sculpting artists like these. So you can kind of see what it does. It kind of cuts, yeah, see. And then it just kind of cuts through. And I got this smaller tool here. And it just kind of does that too. So, they like using those. I'm not a big fan. This is another one of those oil paint scalpels, I guess. Let's see, it cuts right through that. These, I like these, but they're really soft tools. They're great for this stuff. So if you have like the Sculpey, the original Sculpey, you can see what it does here. It makes really slight impressions. So this is like perfect for like jewelry. You can see where it, like that. See? And you can make like really neat looking little jewelry with this, with the Sculpey. Let me see if I can make something real quick. Just real quick. Okay. Let me see if I can show you here. So we'll just put like a little indentation, and then we'll go whoop, 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 whoop. Do you have to say whoop? Yeah, it's fun. Whoop, whoop. See? And then you got this neat little indentation. Now, of course, if I was really wanting to make jewelry, it would take me a lot longer than that, and I would really do a better job than that. Okay, next we have Super Sculpey. Super Sculpey. This stuff is great. Super Sculpey, I got this at Hobby Lobby. And this stuff, you see Super Sculpey, and it's oven bake, as well as the original Sculpey. The original Sculpey is oven bake as well. And the Super Sculpey, what happens is, I mean, you can see, it's harder. Definitely harder than the, definitely harder than the Sculpey, the original Sculpey. So what this stuff does, and this stuff is, of course, it's 14 plus. So, you know, and it's because this is actually not clay at all. This is polymer clay. See, it says soft and semi-translucent, perfect for detailing sculpting. Professional quality oven baked clay. And you can see here on the corner how it has the little oven. And I believe you cook this at 275 for about 15 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 275. Says oven-proof glass or metal surface. I usually use like an aluminum pan that you can get for like $1 at Dollar Tree if you're going to cook it in the oven. But I'll show you a little bit later what I do, what I like to do. But 275 degrees. It says for 15 minutes for 1/4 inch thickness. So if you're going to do something, let me break off a piece here. This is kind of difficult. Okay, so I got this piece broken off, and we're gonna kind of knead it in our hand, make it kind of soft because you get the heat from your hand. Roll it in the center of your hand, make it kind of soft. Okay, so then, oh man, I've got some of the regular Sculpey mixed into it. Look at that. Got regular Sculpey mixed into my Super Sculpey. You got chocolate in my peanut butter in my chocolate. You got Sculpey in my Super Sculpey. So anyway, you got like this here, and you can tell it's a little thicker and a little harder than the standard original Sculpey. This is the Super Sculpey. See, it's a little bit harder. So 275 degrees. For something this thick, you're looking at maybe 10 minutes. Maybe. I suggest you go to the store or a thrift store or whatever, garage sale, get yourself a thrift oven. Get yourself a convectional oven. And maybe at a thrift store. Get yourself a convectional oven. 275, 10 minutes for something like this. 15 minutes for something a little thicker, maybe like that. You know, then we're looking at about 15 minutes for something that thick. And it takes a while for that to cook and harden. But once it hardens, let me show you. Let me see if I can get something here real quick without knocking everything over. So once it hardens, you're going to have a product like this, okay? Maybe not exactly like this because it took me a while to mold this, but this was one of my first creations. I used to love Angry Birds a lot, and so I used to love Angry Birds Star Wars. And this, I made this little Angry Birds Star Wars Jabba the Hutt scene thing. And it's been broken, as you can see. I got one of the nubs torn off there. See, I'm supposed to have one of those. But this is Sculpey. This is Super Sculpey. So This is, you know, really hard. Once it hardens, it's really hard. You can take a sander to it, but you're probably going to break pieces off. So I don't suggest it. It's very glue friendly. So you can always glue pieces, which I'm going to be doing, gluing pieces on. It's great for that. And then you've got your standard Sculpey. Let me see if I can find something that's a standard Sculpey. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is my Amazing Man bird. Amazing Man bird. And this is from original Sculpey, you know, the original, like I showed you before. This stuff. That's what this is. This is the original Sculpey. And you can tell this was kind of a little too pliable. This was one of my first ones too. So you can make stuff like this, and I'll show you how to do this. I'll show you how you can get this neat little effect with the capes. But that's with original Sculpey. And then the next one would be Sculpey Firm. That's my go-to because Sculpey Firm is amazing stuff. Don't get me wrong, Super Sculpey's good stuff. Sculpey Firm usually comes in a package. It's usually gray. Oh, by the way, Super Sculpey, this was like $15.99 at Hobby Lobby. $15.99. I used a 40% off coupon and got it for $10. So just FYI there. But just come on, don't take the whole supply. Leave some for us. So this is Sculpey Firm. This is Sculpey Firm, and I'm almost out of this. This is Sculpey Firm. This is about $13.99 a box. You can get it at Hobby Lobby, but every time I go there, it's always sold out. So somebody likes it other than me. So this is the Sculpey Firm, and as you can tell, it's kind of. Let me see if I can get that right there. Yeah, you can see this is harder, and you can kind of see how it's kind of dry. Let me show you how to fix that here in a second. But this is Sculpey Firm. It comes in these little strips too. And you can tell that you get a piece of this off. Again, you want to get it nice and warm in your hand. Roll it around, get it warm in your hand. And then it kind of softens up a little. Not much. It's not like the Super Sculpey that's a little bit softer. It's a little bit softer. So you can tell the difference here in a second when I show you. This Sculpey Firm, now watch, I'm going to use my right hand because it's stronger. And it's kind of more difficult to squish. This would be the Super Sculpey. And it just squishes. The original Sculpey just, see, watch. Yeah, see, that's the original. So you got your original Sculpey. You got your Super Sculpey. And then you've got, see, it's even harder to knead, Sculpey Firm. See, that's what I'm talking about. Sculpey Firm. Okay, it's good stuff. And let me show you why. Now, you can soften this stuff up. I use, which I have somehow misplaced, I use baby oil. You can buy baby oil just about anywhere. You can buy it from Walmart. If Kmart was still in business, you could buy it at Kmart. You could buy it at like Dollar General, Target, wherever you shop. You can buy baby oil. I like to go to Dollar Tree because who doesn't? And you could buy it for like $1. So I am going to search real quick and not find it. Hold on. So we're gonna look around here till I find some baby oil. Okay, so this is baby oil. You see it? There's baby oil. And then we're going to apply just a liberal amount right here. And then you can see what it does. It smooths it out and softens it a little bit. So see there? Now you're going to have fingerprints on this thing. Stretch it out a little bit. Okay, so you can do that with the Sculpey Firm and it softens it. Now, we got the Super Sculpey. You don't want to do this to the original Sculpey, because if you do, the original Sculpey just leaves a huge mess. So I don't suggest using the baby oil. You might want to use like alcohol. Alcohol dries really quick, and it's not going to make it too terribly soft because it's already soft enough. So you just kind of apply a little amount to the Super Sculpey. Okay, rub it in there. And then you can see here, it just makes it even softer. So it kind of smooths it out even more. Oops, I ripped it. I ripped it! So, see there? It's really nice. Oh, yeah. It makes it, and it smells good. Baby oil smells good. It's one of the better baby smells. I'm a father of 5, and I've smelt a lot of baby smells, and I tell you what, baby oil is the best out of all the baby smells, especially the dirty diaper smell. The baby oil is the best. So there's your 3 types of clay, and of course there is another type. It's called Sculpey Medium. It has like a dragon on the front, I believe, of the box. I haven't used Sculpey Medium in so long, but it's about the same consistency as, well, maybe a little bit more thick. It's a little bit more thick than original Sculpey, because original Sculpey, like I said, you can't even apply oil to this, because if you do, it's just going to... You know what? Let me show you. Here's the oil. Now, if you apply oil to this, now you're going to see how it spreads. Now watch this. Oh, see, it just gums up, and it just leaves a terrible mess. Look at that. Look at that. And then look at my hands. See? It just leaves a terrible mess. So you got to be careful with the original Sculpey. It's cool and it's fun to play with. But if you're really going to do anything with like customizing or even making jewelry or anything, I really suggest you go with Super Sculpey. If you're really going to do some like heavy sculptures, go with Firm. Don't skimp on the clay. Go with the Firm, trust me. You don't want to go with the lesser clay if you're going to make sculptures. You know, especially if you want them to last. You know, you go with the thicker clay, because trust me, it's so much better. Let me show you here real quick. I did this one recently. This is a Bobble Head. I used an existing Bobble Head, and I'm not finished with it, so mind you. But this is what I did recently. This is it's my mini-me. Yep. I'm a huge Royals fan, so as you can tell behind me, I got all those bobbleheads. But this is, you know, I wanted my own, and I wanted to be a manager, so I went and got a manager for, I won't say what baseball team this is, because I don't want any hate mail. So this used to be a manager of a baseball team, and now it's me, and I'm the manager of the Royals. Man, I wish. That would be awesome. But so there, that's Super Sculpey, or not Super Sculpey, that's Sculpey Firm right there. That's what this is, and you can tell it's hard as a rock. I also made this with Sculpey Firm, and this was just kind of playing around with Sculpey Firm. I just wanted to play around with it, so I made this little derby. I made this little derby hat with Sculpey Firm. See? Sculpey Firm is what did that. And, well, how'd you do that? How'd you do that, Matt? How'd you make that hat? I'm gonna show you. This little guy right here. This is a pasta maker. Pasta maker. You put your pasta in here, and then you take this little lever, and you grind it, and out comes your pasta. Okay? This thing's been through heck. I've had this thing for so many years. You can see it's missing feet. But the great thing about this is you can change the thickness of your clay, how you want it thick. So let's put this on 5. And it's been so beat up, I don't even have the little clip anymore that you put it on the table and you can clip it so it will stay in place. So I have to do this with this on my lap. So we're gonna take this. This is a straight out of the box piece of Sculpey Firm. Place this in here, and we're gonna, oh my goodness, maybe this wasn't a good idea. Okay, we're gonna take this and we're going to make some pasta. I don't suggest eating Sculpey Firm though. May that be a disclaimer. Do not eat Sculpey Firm. It is polymer clay and it does not taste good and it will hurt you. Okay? Do not eat. Again, I say do not eat polymer clay. So, put it in there another time. I'm going to show you how this works. And you can see it's coming out in sheets. So you get something like this. So from this to this. Now see how great Firm is? This is Firm. Okay? This is what it does. You can actually do this. I mean, it's great. It's great stuff. And that's how I make the capes. That's how I made this little hat. You know, because once you put heat to that, it's going to harden to however you want it. And let me show you here real quick. I'm not going to show you who this is, but I made this cape here. I made this cape with the Sculpey. So you can see right there. And that's with Sculpey. The Super Sculpey. Not the Super Sculpey. The Sculpey Firm. That's Sculpey Firm that made that cape. Now granted, when you make something like a cape, it's really fragile. And it can break really easy. It can rip really easy in the process as well. I've had to repair several things several times using this stuff. So just be careful, be cautious, and you know, use common sense. I mean, it is clay. It's polymer clay, but it's, you know, it's still able to rip.